3, 2, 1. Cinema Speak back on the air, bringing you more fun and joy coming out of our sweet mouths. That
Yay.
sounds horrible, right?
Kind of joy.
Yes. I'm Nick. That's still Victor,
Hello.
and we got another double feature for you.
Double
What are we
feature.
talking about?
Well, we're talking about the new Netflix release, The Old Guard, and 1975's The Flying Guillotine.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
You want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna start with?
I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get in? Like any news or any new things going on?
I don't know. Not movie news. I think E3 and Comic-Con have passed.
They didn't even happen.
They didn't. Well, Comic-Con at home happened. I wasn't keeping up with that, anyways. Yeah, I got nothing.
Live stream or something, or
Something like that, I guess.
oh,
I'm not sure entirely. I just heard it in passing. I'm just filling in here. Let's get into one of these films here.
Wait, what about the Microsoft had their showcase? I know it's
okay. Yeah, the Halo Infinite stuff looked really cool.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. New Halo game, hell yeah.
I was a little underwhelmed. I don't know why, but I'm still excited.
Bleh. It's new Halo. It's not Guardians. I'm happy.
I'll be there for it nonetheless. I will midnight launch that game.
Let's do that. And some other games I don't know much of or care about.
Fable?
I never played Fable in my life.
Oh, bummer.
I wasn't much of a fantasy guy in my gaming interests.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, yeah, I mean, there are some pretty cool games they showed, but, I mean, whatever.
Well, I think what?
I'm excited for Stalker 2.
Stalker 2? I thought there was already a Stalker 2.
No.
Oh, like called Pripyat or something? Or
yeah, there was a couple, like, spin-offs, or I don't know if you'd call them spin-offs. Well, yeah, there were sequels, but I think this is like a direct sequel or something. I don't really know.
Okie dokie.
But
we got a Street Fighter 2 situation. That's fun.
Something like that, yeah.
Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD, Ultra Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD. It goes on and on.
I don't know how you could follow that. It's just like But I would recommend getting Stalker. I mean, if your computer, like, it's a pretty low res game. Like, you can play it on really anything.
Yeah, perhaps.
So if you guys are listening out there and you have a PC, you should buy Stalker.
I was contemplating getting Doom the other day.
The new one?
First Doom, the original Doom, because it's still a monster of a game.
Right. Okay. Well,
let's do movies now.
Yes. Want to talk about Old Guard or what?
What are you feeling? What are you feeling?
I don't know. I just finished the Guillotine not too long ago.
Yeah, I finished. Let's just talk. Let's talk Guillotine first. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. I don't have coins. Do I?
I don't have coins either.
I got one. I got a
All right, don't rig it.
Ring it?
Rig it. Don't rig it.
No. What am I gonna do? Put gum on my thumb? The head's Old Guard.
All right.
It fell on the floor.
Oh, damn it.
Let's try it again. Dink. That's a Tails.
So Guillotine?
Tails is the Guillotine.
Actually, before we start, is my mic, can you understand me? Is it working well?
I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're sounding great.
Wonderful. That's what I want.
Heck yeah. So, Guillotine?
Yes, the Flying Guillotine. Let's break it down here. Flying Guillotine. In Qing Dynasty China, a corrupt emperor rules with oppressive strength over the inhabitants. To further extend his rule, he has a team of assassins recruited with the intent of specializing in a deadly new weapon dubbed the Flying Guillotine. But when one of the men, Ma Tang, realizes the error of his allegiance and goes on the run, the clan set their sights on him and try to kill him.
Do you write out your synopsises?
I did it for this one.
That sounded good.
Thanks.
That was really solid, actually.
Thank you, man.
I'm going to give your synopsis a 9 out of 10.
Fucking A. I love it. That
So
was
I don't think I've seen many Shaw Brothers films. I think the only one I've seen is Shaolin versus Evil Dead 2.
that sounds awesome. I want to watch that.
Oh, and maybe Robot Vampire. I don't know if that's a Shaw Brothers film though,
I want to see that one too.
or Robo Vampire. Yeah,
Robo Vampire. The only Shaw Brothers movie I've seen uh was The Oily Maniac, and I watched that with
oh,
Ryan.
ooh,
That that was really rapey, but it was so funny, man.
they should put
Yeah,
that on the poster.
yes, it's really rapey, but a lot of fun. That's basically what we said after we watched that movie. There was more than there was more rape scenes than there needed to be, as
Mhm.
in zero. But the rest of it was just crazy. The plot was all over the place. The special effects were laughable, and I was just and the it's just funny. It didn't mean to be funny, but it was funny.
I like the
Oh
poster. I like the oily creature.
yeah, yeah, that's good. But yeah,
Otherwise, too good.
otherwise pretty sleazy, pretty exploitative.
Huh. Okay. So what
Mhm.
what made you want to watch this film? Did you know about it
Well,
for a while or
no, I think I've heard about a Flying Guillotine movie. There's multiple Flying Guillotine movies.
really?
Yeah, there's one called Masters of the Flying Guillotine. I think that's the more famous one. One,
Hmm.
and then there's this movie has a sequel, Flying Guillotine 2. I don't know much about that one because I just heard about this Flying Guillotine recently. But yeah, otherwise, I was on a martial arts kick for a while now. My buddy has been introducing me to all these great Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies, and subsequently, I've been looking for other fight-based action films.
Hmm.
And yeah, the '70s is when most of that kicked off. You got guys like Bruce Lee making their splash in international markets, and Jackie Chan just starting out, so forth.
Hmm.
And so yeah, didn't mean for this to be an action episode, but
Just
yeah,
happened that way.
it just happened. So yeah, we got vintage action and new age action.
Jackie Chan is. I've never seen any of his films, and I was kind of curious on getting that box set that Criterion just released, but
Well,
I don't know if
yeah,
it's worth it. There's martial arts films in general. It's one of my blind spots for sure.
yeah,
That and westerns.
you're still kind of up and coming with martial arts movies.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, like,
I mean,
I don't know. This film in particular, I wasn't. I don't know. I was sort of disinterested with it for most the runtime, but there are some pretty neat moments in here, especially when the guillotine is used.
yeah, I'll say that when the movie called there's movies that advertise a certain thing about them. I think you know the ones I'm talking about. In
Mhm.
general, it's in the title or right off the bat when they start the movie. That's what it's gonna be. They don't mess around when they call it the flying guillotine.
No,
There's tons of flying guillotines going around. Can we get a
and
poll? Can
yeah,
we get a poll of how many times I say flying guillotine in this episode?
let's start
Let's do it. How many are we
here.
on?
So you said the title.
Yeah.
You just said it again.
Uh-huh.
Let's restart. Let's just count. Let's just
let's
count.
let's start the whole episode over again.
I'm gonna I'm gonna say two so far.
Fine. Uh, someone in the comic could tell me, but yeah, lots of flying guillotines going around.
Yeah, and the way they are those moments are shot are really cool too, because a lot of them are in slow motion.
Yes, they
Um,
do a good job making this a believable fighting weapon. The,
which,
f-
yeah,
the fact they dedicate some of the first act to showing the audience and the characters how to use this thing properly in combat, that that's gotta be commendable. Really sell you on how applicable this thing could be.
and especially too when like you think about it logically, it's like this would be such an easy weapon to like dodge or just like
Yeah,
get out of the way. But they kind of like explain like, oh, it's lightning quick. It's faster than the speed of sound, and so they do a pretty good job with if making you believe that this is sort of way better than it really could be,
yeah.
much more unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's somewhere between the glaive and a lightsaber.
yes,
The way this movie puts it out.
but I find curious. It's like so this weapon's created. Well, it wasn't created for the assassination that the main character, not the main character, but one of the leads is told to do. But
Yeah, so yeah, the Emperor. Pardon me, I blanked for a sec. The Emperor wants to kill. He's corrupt. He wants to kill those who want good in the land, essentially.
mhm.
So he wants. So one guy says, "Hey, I got this design for a new weapon. It'll make short work of those guys, essentially."
I feel like they could have come up with something. You could use something much more efficient, less like clunky.
Maybe it was the
I mean,
70s.
it's very graceful weapon, but like couldn't even done like a poison dart or something, or
Probably, but it's this. It's like it's the 70s. It's a Shaolin Chinese made action film from the 70s.
plus poison dart would not be as cool as a flying guillotine. That's
No, it's got a chain. It's covered in blades. There's a hood that comes down and it cuts off your head.
I
Man,
wonder if who's that character in Mortal Kombat? Um,
Kung Lao.
is he the one with Raiden? Or no, not
Oh,
Raiden.
okay.
Who has
I thought
the blade hat?
Kung
Blade
Lao.
Kung Lao has it. Okay, I wonder if they got inspiration from this,
I put money on that. They
or if that is just like a I don't know. I don't know if any other martial arts films or Asian cinema had
well,
this weapon.
Mortal Kombat did pull inspiration from a lot of martial arts movies
Oh
and
yeah.
or martial arts related films, such as Big Trouble in Little China. One of the I think the God Lightning Thunder. One of the three storms was the inspiration for Raiden because he harnesses lightning and he's a
Oh,
god. So yeah, I wouldn't put that past NetherRealm, Midway, whoever's in charge of it now.
hmm yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
So the gimmick works so much that I wouldn't even call it a gimmick. It's a flying guillotine.
no,
It's
they
awesome.
definitely use as much as possible.
Yes,
I appreciate that a lot.
right. For the rest of the film,
Yeah, I don't know.
I could dig it. I can dig it. I mean,
Yeah,
it has a slow start, but once they start training with the guillotines, I think it picks up from there.
right. And there's enough like deception and betrayal woven throughout the story and the characters that
Uh huh.
it doesn't. Uh, it definitely makes things more interesting. But I think my main problem is how repetitive and sort of nowhere it goes. It's very just like once what's that guy's name betrays the emperor.
Matang.
Yeah, once he leaves, it's a lot of just cat and mouse, and not even really cat and mouse. Mostly just like trailing this guy and showing up,
Hmm.
fighting, leaving, just repeat.
Part
Um,
of what that is, I think, is the lack of, or not the lack of, it's the amount of time jumping going on. Freaking A, the main character, spoiler alert, he has a kid by the end of the movie.
that's true. I didn't even really
This
think about
film
that.
covers, from what the dialogue tells me, it covers 2 years of story or something.
What?
1 or 2 years of story time.
I didn't even know that. I mean,
I,
I guess it's implied with a kid, but
yeah, he's walking, he talks. He's a little butterball.
to be honest, they didn't really do a good job of making that apparent. Besides him having a kid, in my opinion, maybe I just
Not
didn't notice it,
not
but
quite. There isn't much transitions between scenes. It's just cut, bam, it's the next situation.
yeah, exactly. That's what,
That is interesting though.
and I think that's
But
why it kind of just felt like it was taking its sweet ass time getting to the end because it just felt like it was just one
perhaps,
scene
yeah.
for the other, not really any sort of obvious uh time change. I don't know. I mean,
Mm-hmm. But hey, throwing a flying guillotine every 20 minutes or so, you get no much quarreling there.
yeah, it's like sure the plot, in my opinion, wasn't very remarkable or anything, but
No, not quite.
I don't really think you're going into this film. I mean, I don't know. That could be just
Yeah,
be an
yeah.
ignorant look, but I don't think you're really going to a lot of these films thinking like, oh, the story's going to be top notch.
No. No, it's called the flying guillotine.
Right.
That's what you want to see. And you do see it. Part of me though was concerned for a bit because they were doing a lot of flying guillotine in a moment. It made me wonder if they're gonna do any traditional fight scenes. And they
Yeah,
do.
they do.
And they look pretty good, even if I think they look a little rigid and a little two-stage. I guess just because I watched Jackie Chan first, and I was spoiled from the get-go. And then I moved on to Bruce Lee and others like him. And the more modern martial arts movies. This was different. This is a rougher looking cinematic martial arts
Is it
filmmaking.
really? Okay. Because yeah, like I said,
Well,
I haven't seen Untitled.
not a terrible amount. I wouldn't say a terrible amount, but you could I got the feeling they were kind of going 1, 2, 3, punch, 4, 9 sort of thing.
Okay, I can definitely see
It
that.
looks like it's coming in steps instead of a more fluid and intense motion.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I'd like to see like one of the more renowned films, just because I would
Yeah,
like to see a really well choreographed classic martial arts film. And I didn't
sure.
really mind those fight scenes here. There was a few that were kind of
No,
fun, like uh, what was his name? The one who escapes,
Ma Tang.
Ma Tang, when he's fighting one of the guys who's chasing him, and that lady's like distracting the crowd with a song, and they're just like fighting in the
Yeah,
background, kind of
that
going
was
with the
cool.
beat of the song in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kind of fun.
No, I don't hate the fight scenes. They're really good. I just feel a little spoiled watching a lot of the more renowned martial artists and more modern action movies to watch it pulled off like this because they didn't
Oh,
have as much back then,
right, right, right.
and the ones that would go on to do great things weren't there
Hmm.
yet, or they just weren't on set. It wasn't their movie, so you got it's a different type of it's a different style. Every martial artist has got a different style. Every martial arts film is like martial arts itself. It's its own brand. It's something you gotta keep a fresh mind in.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yep. But there
Well,
are some cool. Oh god, I'm cutting in.
oh, you're good, dude.
Go on, go on, go on, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it was not really a big thing to note about, but just that first time I think you get to see the guillotine in action on a live object. So when they use it on the dog,
Yeah, I was surprised.
it's an unremarkable note, but I saw that, was like, okay, well, that's unexpected.
I don't think it was quite that unremarkable. I mean, saving animals. I don't think was that big of a trope back then. It probably was, but it wasn't.
Hmm.
But yeah, to kill a dog in the first parts of the movie,
Yeah, I was like, all right,
it's
good
okay.
start, good
Sold.
start.
These guys are threatening.
Yeah, I don't know. Gee, what else is there?
Well, I like the fights. Anytime Ma Tang gets his hands on a guillotine and uses it against his clan brothers,
Mhm.
there's a couple times where the guillotines just explode when they hit each other. It's
Oh
just
yeah, there's that
awesome.
one, I think, towards the end, where they both launch the guillotines,
Yeah. No, it's
and
cool when they start using them on each other. That's pretty cool in its own right.
yeah, I think my favorite moment where that happens is actually, I think, the final fight scene on the cliffs.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I don't think I've seen a action scene that's structured like that, unless like
Hmm.
it's like a sniper fight or something where you're just kind of like launching the objects, ducking,
Oh
covering.
yeah.
It's kind of
It's
a very slow paced
hmm
fighting style, but I think it
yeah.
leads to some pretty cool moments.
Yeah. Sniper battle. Now I'm just thinking of sniper battles.
Top 10
No,
sniper battles.
when probably I was watching 1917 again the other day,
Mhm.
and there was the part where the guy is being shot at from a tower
Oh yeah.
before he gets knocked out. But yeah, that that's a
Do you,
good rifle battle there.
do you still like that movie?
I still love that movie.
Okay.
It's yeah, but that's another day. That's another.
No, no, let's talk about it.
Oh, 1917. It's one of the best war movies ever made.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. Yeah, after a couple watches, I'm convinced.
Oh, okay. Damn. All
Yeah,
right.
or at the very least, one of the most grounded war movie experiences because you're with those soldiers every step of the way, quite literally.
Mhm.
Yeah, Deacon's cinematography, his stamp on the one simulated one take approach, incredible. Near seamless editing a lot of the times, likable characters, action when it's called for. It's epic. It's big. Thomas Newman's score. It's propulsive. It keeps everything moving forward. Seemingly, it's great. And old school die for your brother's noble sacrifice type deal.
What's your rating?
That's a perfect 5 for that one.
All right, so should we move on to Old Guard?
Go back to the Flying Guillotine. Oh, yeah, the action's really good for its time, shot very well. Liberal use of a zoom lens, my
Oh yeah,
god.
and wide angle too, like distorted wide angle.
Yeah. We know Ryan and I noticed that with the Oily Maniac too. A
Uh-huh.
lot of zooms, everything, but that movie had shitty camera composition and so forth. This though, this was really good.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the camera work. There were some moments that were
Those
decent, but I don't know.
those Hong Kong zooms though.
Yeah, I wonder what lens they were using because it goes from like ultra wide to telephoto. I was like, dude, I didn't get my hands on that.
Zoosh, just wham. And yeah, editing's really cool, especially the parts with the Flying Guillotine I said before. Editing really makes that weapon come together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's very procedural. So like he throws it, flying through the air, lands on the guy, hood drops, pull a chain, pop cuffs goes the head, catches the guillotine. It's a process and it works.
Yeah, I don't think it's the most efficient, but it works. It does its job. I like how many decapitations there are. I wasn't expecting
Oh
that.
yeah. There must have been at least a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dogs, guys, girls, dummies, everything.
So, did you say you've seen numerous martial arts films from the 70s? From the
Well, not from the 70s, just in general.
okay.
Enter the Dragon is a must, I will tell you that right away. By the way, John Saxon, who was in Enter the Dragon, passed away today, the day of this recording. So rest in peace,
Oh.
Mr. Saxon.
Was he was he in a lot of other films or
Oh
just
yeah, he was in. He was primarily he was largely a horror actor too. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street, From Dusk Till Dawn, so on, so on. He was a character actor. He got around television and film.
Oh, okay. He looks familiar.
Yeah, in Nightmare on Elm Street, he plays the sheriff in that movie, and he comes back in the third film.
That is a blind spot of mine, but
Oh, we should get to that for Halloween.
oh yeah, no, trust me, we should do a Halloween episode for all October. I was
Absolutely.
thinking like so that way we can get more films and we should just do like one film a week. What do you think
Yeah,
about that?
man. Yes, yes, absolutely. You heard it here first, folks.
Bazinga.
Yep.
Um yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
editing, cool, great. Everything else, yeah, kind of so. Characters, fine-ish. They get the job done. The Emperor's evil. The wife is likable. The other assassins don't have much to them. Really, I liked Ma Tang. He was easily the most complex character because he realized the error of his ways and he swore off his allegiance to the Emperor and just ran away from it all.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was a resolution with the Emperor. Like you don't really see
Mhm.
what happens to him. It's kind
Mhm.
of just up in the air.
That
Which is
is, yeah.
understandable, but
And for how prominent he was in the movie, he should have got a guillotine. He should have got
oh
a
yeah,
guillotine one.
exactly. They kind of just like leave him to the wayside, and it's just like, well, huh?
Yeah,
He's still got,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's in the sequel,
Oh,
Flying Guillotine 2. Because I did see it
okay.
on Netflix. It's there.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah, yeah, you know, yeah, characters and story pretty basic. Oh my goodness, it's pretty, it's pretty basic. Uh, create this weapon, train these guys. One guy's like, no, no, and just like, I'm out of here. And they're like, he can't get out of here. Get him.
that's essentially it.
Pretty much it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
have,
say, awesome weapon aside, pretty basic martial arts action movie.
yeah, not a waste of time really. I think there's some fun to be
Yeah,
had.
sure, yeah. And for a guy like you, probably a good starter.
Yeah, probably maybe.
Mhm. It's like any other. It's like most other '70s exploitation. There's gonna be lulls and excitement at varying.
Yeah, the sets were nice,
Oh
which
yeah,
which
I
is
liked.
probably something you could usually expect.
Uh-huh. I admire these Shaolin martial arts movies. I haven't seen too many of them, but just what I've seen, like brief snippets of, they look pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's early films were Shaolin based, like Drunken Master and so forth,
Oh,
before he got into modern day settings. So that's neat.
like Daddy Daycare too.
Please, that's not even. No, no, no.
Jackie Chan's best, bro.
That's not even Chan.
So good, he's not even in it.
Yeah, Jackie
Um,
Chan as John Cena.
Ja- dude.
Take that.
Well, I don't know. I don't really have too many notes. I think I've already kind of said what I need to say.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
pretty much.
sorry
Yeah.
everyone.
No. It's a basic film. Pulls you in with one enticing detail, and it makes the most of that.
Yeah, it's a little long. I don't know. Do you think it was a little long?
It did drag a couple times. Like I said, the early parts when before they started training the assassins and other points. Yeah, it did. I had to do this in a couple different sessions because couldn't quite hold me enough. But I did it though. It's not terrible.
Right. Yeah. Well, shoot.
Let's
Do
let's
ratings?
yeah, let's cap it off. Oh, that's a 3.5 for me.
Okay. Uh,
Good. It's a good starter martial arts movie for anyone new to the genre. It's got decent fight scenes and it makes the most out of what the title promises, and that's a lot of beheadings by an outlandish weapon. Everything else though is fairly simple, straightforward, doesn't challenge your head in any way. It's good fun.
okay. I'm gonna go with 2.5.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Spit on my beer is such a topic. I don't care.
Yeah, I just mostly uninterested. Even when the fighting was going on, it was just kind of like, mm. But I think the most important part is yes, it does make use of the flying guillotine, which is if it didn't, I think that would be a huge shame. But it succeeded on that front. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, there's some cool story beats that are some keep things kind of interesting. But overall, it wasn't really my thing. But I do appreciate what was going on. So yeah, not bad, not bad.
Uh-huh. Yes. If you get yourself in a going on a marathon of these, this would fit right comfortably, I think, in the middle. Because you could start off with something really good, like Enter the Dragon, and then towards the middle, or maybe towards the end, when it's kind of dying down, I could see it being in that slot there.
Really.
Probably. I mean, I think it's worth it on the Flying Guillotine alone. It makes it on that strength.
All right, all right. I'll agree with you.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
You know how many times you said flying guillotine?
How many did I say it?
Hold on.
He doesn't even know,
Oh,
buddy.
it wasn't even
Supposed
that
to have
much.
my back on this.
You said it 10 times.
10 all fingers of the hands.
That's a solid 10.
Let's go.
All right. Well,
Cool, man. Great. Flying Guillotine. Go watch it.
it's on
Maybe.
Netflix and Amazon.
Do it.
So Old Guard.
Now we're moving on to The Old Guard. The most recent release from Netflix as of current. Probably won't be by the time this happens. Or by the time this gets released. Alright, Old Guard. The Old Guard revolves around a team of warriors who have wandered this earth for centuries thanks to their gift of immortality. They live in near secret until a pharmaceutical company catches wind of their presence and seeks to have them captured and experimented on. Elsewhere, a new immortal is discovered after she is killed in action during her tour in Afghanistan. The immortals must band together and bring down this company while safeguarding their shadowy whereabouts.
Yeah. Solid. Another solid synopsis by you.
This one, yeah. Oh yeah. I was jumping ahead of myself. Yeah. I'm a writer, man. This is what I do.
It really helps that you write these out. Good job.
Yeah. especially after the last failed attempts.
We won't talk about those.
We don't speak of them.
All right. Well, yeah,
So,
Oldgar.
yeah, Netflix release, getting a lot of those, soaking up quite a bit of those lately.
Yeah, it's about time we finally cover a new Netflix film because there are
Well, we
quite a
did the
few.
Five Bloods.
That's true.
Yeah,
Fair
and
enough. That was also a
some
few
other
months ago.
there. uh, yeah. Let's. I'll start off with this question, Victor. What do you think of streaming movies in general? Movies exclusively released for streaming platforms. Never see a theatrical release.
I mean, I'm mostly fine with it. It's like, uh, like obviously it's not as fun as going out to the theater and making an experience out of it. Um, and plus too, like it's just much easier to get distracted and this and that, like the obvious things. But I'm it's cool that we're getting a lot of new streaming films and ones with big name actors, big budgets, whatnot. It's cool to be able to have that option. Um, so yeah, I'm not really like against it or anything.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I'm a very conventional person, so I prefer a theater film. Again, you don't have those distractions in a theater. When you go to a movie theater, it's gonna be a quality. It's gonna be at least a quality production. Like the story and acting, that all could vary, but just like this is a Hollywood or this is a major motion picture. It's gonna reflect that on a giant silver screen.
Yeah.
Eh, but I will add that streaming services, it's very easy for filmmakers to dump crap on them because it's so easy to put
Mm-hmm.
them on there. And in my experience, Netflix and other platforms, they've had a lot more hits or misses than hits. Very rarely do you get something like The Irishman or The Siege of Jadotville, or even the recent released Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. That was a quality action movie right there.
Yeah, I still didn't see that one. I know you
I
recommend.
recommend it.
Yeah.
As Chris Hemsworth's John Wick, not too bad.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, very hard hitting stuff in that. And now we got this one with Charlize Theron, her herself, no stranger to action.
Yeah. I don't know. What did you think of it?
I was almost gonna get bored watching this, but then it got better as it went along, I think. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. I this is another mixed bag for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like the concept. I like this idea of like
It is neat.
these very old uh or immortal, like
Warriors,
super
yeah.
agents, warriors from who knows when they were born. I mean, they
Yeah.
describe like being part of the Crusades and the Civil
Yeah.
War, and even like even older than that. And I think that's actually pretty sweet idea.
It is. And I think they make the most of it in the story, or at the very least with the character drama, because they do go into they're not so tongue in cheek with it. Normally it'd be very humor based with this kind of thing. It's like, hey, we're immortal. But
Deadpool humor.
probably. I mean that can work, but we don't need that. We got enough of that right now. This film, they actually get into the seriousness of it. The 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 uh the to- the borderline torment of having the power to live forever.
Yeah. Did you think took itself too seriously, or do you think it was the right amount?
Maybe it could have had more levity, but I did like it prioritized character development. Very rarely in action movies these days you will get decent character development. This one went for it, and I think it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of appreciated was how you kind of see them like dealing with their, you know, yeah, like you said, the torment of living forever, or just like the exhausting amount of pain that comes with it. I mean, a lot of them they just you die and then you come back to life, and I'm sure how like just traumatizing that could be. And so I do like how they kind of go into that a bit, but I
Yeah.
I think it took itself a little too seriously with its brooding, like, oh, I'm sick of this.
Uh,
I want to die forever.
yeah,
For the
there.
mentality.
I will say I felt like in the early parts of the movie, it was trying a little too hard to be edgy because uh details like the characters, they're like I said, they're brooding. They're very brooding individuals. They're
Mhm.
dressing in all black, wearing their hair down, and they got hip hop music playing. It's like, oh, we're so cool. We're so fucking cool, dude. It wants to be the next Blade or Matrix, but it doesn't get wrapped up in that for too long, I think. But
Yeah,
that being said, uh, it could be a bumpy road getting over those edgy bits.
right. And it's not like too distracting where it was too much of a problem for me, but it it's just like when I'm already not having the greatest time and then it's just like taking itself like too seriously for a concept that's pretty not I don't know, it's a pretty silly concept.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just kind of makes me even more distance from it. I'm like, dude, I'm already
Uh-huh.
lost interest. I don't need to hear you guys go on about immortality and uh, you know,
Yeah.
philosophy,
Perhaps it's a
jumbo, but
nice
that's just
idea,
me.
but we
Yeah.
still need that levity. You still need to bring it back. Keep everything balanced.
Yeah, and I mean they do. I mean, especially with like the Nikki and Mikey characters.
Oh, Niccolo and Joe, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. That was one of my favorite parts actually. So again, spoilers. So there's a part where two of them get captured, Niccolo and Joe, and they're locked in this armored van with guys in full body gear and rifles. And it's established they're gay and they love each other because of all the times they've been through. No one else can share those experiences with one another. And they use that to kind of creep him out and then or just kind of make him jump back a bit.
Hmm.
It's like, oh wow, God. The soldier thinks he's hot shit and he's trying to intimidate them, but no, I think who was it? I think it was Nicolo. Nicolo throws it back at him and just really embraces his gayness and just makes out with him on the spot.
Right.
Cut to the next scene. They open the doors and they're covered in blood. All the guys are dead. It's like, that was good. That was a successfully funny moment.
I agree. Yeah, that was one of the more unexpected moments, but
Yeah, yeah, I loved it.
yeah, I think the characters
Yeah.
overall are they're okay. Like, I mean, I
Who?
think
Who?
the characters themselves.
Yeah, because they devoted a lot of time to character development. They work out better than you would expect. In Charlize
They're on they're
Theron.
one
She's
of the
there.
three ways to say it.
Yeah, Charlize Theron. She's great. She's reliably excellent in most every picture she's in.
Yeah, I thought she was fine. I think it was mostly just the writing that made me kind of cringe at times, but
Perhaps so.
she was definitely the most developed. Obviously, she's the lead, Doy, but
Yeah, but
like
then
they
you
were,
got
yeah,
yeah, but then you got Kiki Lane. She plays Nile, the one killed in Afghanistan. She was also really good. I liked how they so there was the bit after she comes back to life for the first time. She's just walking around her base, and all of the soldiers are giving her the stink eye, and just kind of as she walks by. I like how they. I thought that was really well done, showing
yeah,
her perspective, how alienating it could be,
yeah. I don't know.
and then she comes into her own as the film progresses.
Yeah, I liked her in Beale Street, but she seemed a little wooden here at
Mm.
times, a little
Oh,
unconvincing.
okay. Beale Street, gotcha.
Yeah, and she's kind of similar in some respect in that film, but I don't know. Performance wise, I wasn't really feeling it. But I do think
Maybe.
as a character, she was fine. She had a good arc. I mean, it's pretty typical, kind of denying the call and whatnot, and
Sure.
kind of like realizing, like, oh shit, I'm kind of a badass.
A hero's journey, as it were.
Exactly. So,
Sure. One thing I did not expect, though, freaking Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter being the bad guy.
oh yeah, he's essentially Martin Shkreli, which I thought was pretty funny.
Who's
Remember
Martin
him?
Shkreli?
He was that guy who he was also like a really young CEO of a pharmaceutical company. He was the guy who what exactly did he do?
Was he
Uh,
the guy that bought the one of 5 copies of the Wu-Tang Clan album?
yes, he was the one with
Oh,
the AIDS or not the AIDS, the cancer medication, and hiked up
oh,
the price with some controversy around that. But I'm pretty sure they were definitely using him as inspiration. Kind of this cocky young CEO of a billion-dollar
probably.
company
When was this movie made? What the fuck?
this year, right? I mean, why? Pretty
That's.
interesting
I mean,
inspiration.
sure. Don't have to lock it down to a. Don't have to. It's not like you can't take inspiration from certain people, or it's not like you can't not take inspiration from people. But if that's the case, it feels pretty little too timely, too trendy. Know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I didn't
Who
have a problem with
knows?
it, but it was definitely like, huh,
Yeah,
very
it's
obvious.
debatable. It's debatable. That's debatable. Uh, and also Chiwetel Ejiofor. Has that guy ever done a bad role?
Who?
Chiwetel Ejiofor. He plays
Oh,
Copley.
oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I was like, dude, what are you saying? Sorry.
No.
Yeah,
He's in 12 Years a Slave, Doctor Strange, The Martian.
yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
That's fine.
he's never bad. He's never well, yeah, the movie could be bad, but he'll never be bad
Sure, I get
because he's really good. And
you.
that's
Yeah,
how I feel about him.
he did just fine for me. That's the thing. No one really stood out to me, but I think like they
Yeah.
all do the job.
Yeah, maybe the acting's more wooden than I am giving it credit for, but I dig it. Like everyone was doing good with their parts, and it certainly helps that they prioritize character development, that they took some time to flesh out these people.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's commendable. And also the action scenes. We got action scenes in this one too. Oh, I'm mixed on these ones though.
Yeah, same here, to be honest.
I mean, the choreography is cool, and it's captured really well. Good cinematography and editing. But what almost ruins it are the needle drop song choices.
Dude, there are so many.
Most of the action scenes have a song set to them, and I don't think that was necessary. It didn't fit the style they were going for.
No, it was too just like radio pop EDM crap, which I mean,
Yeah.
music tastes separate, like whatever. It just it just felt like just of course like it's like the easiest choice. Like of course you go for like what the kids are listening to, if they're even
Uh-huh.
listening to that. I don't know. It did kind of make me
And
go eye
a-
roll.
uh-huh. And also because it was a more serious tone than normal, these felt a little too upbeat, sort of thing. Even when they were hold up, I'm hiccuping. Even when they were playing up comedy a little more, it still felt out of place. Because we have that one scene in the desert.
Mhm.
Charlize's character, Andy, she picks up Kiki's character, Niall, from Afghanistan. They stop in the desert because she bails out of the Humvee, and they're fighting and whatnot. And yet, just have that song going. It's supposed to be a funny moment, but everything you saw up until that point, kind of serious. So, not as smooth of a tonal transition, if you catch my drift.
I get you. Yeah, and the problem too with a lot of the songs is that they're pretty damn obvious. Like, oh,
Mm.
I'll go down fighting, blah blah, this
Oh,
that.
yeah, really
Real
on the
names. I'm like,
nose.
really, guys?
Normally, that's not a problem.
Yeah,
Well, okay, sometimes it's a problem, but
it can usually be, but
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
there are those times when it feels right, but I think that's more of they built up their character and story better.
It just kind of felt like they were doing what's popular.
Yeah, because if you look at something like The Matrix, that movie had a ton of needle drops, but that had the advent benefit of an awesome storyline, cool characters, and a solid style.
Yeah, because it kind of felt like it was doing the John Wick copycat thing
Mm-hmm.
in a way. And sometimes it works. There were some decent fight scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of them were pretty dark for like a lot of them in the beginning. darkest
Yeah,
the
borderline dark. Yeah,
yeah,
That-
but
that's a sh- you know what? That's weird. So okay, there's been movies lately that came out. Just off the top of my head in the last few years, say Godzilla, Terminator Dark Fate, fucking yeah. Those are the only two I could think of right now. But those films had dark scenes. They were if some of them are even based around the darkness.
and by dark we're meaning nighttime
Okay, yeah,
or dark
nighttime.
rooms, etc.
Yes, yes, yes. So in the theater they look fine, I think.
Hmm.
Makes sense. You're in a dark room, it's big screen, high quality projection. Then when you get home, it's like all of a sudden they get worse. I don't know if it's my television or when they're crunching it down to a Blu-ray. It's weird.
My problem is that I was watching this during like sunset, and
Ha!
so I have this glare on my TV, and like I could have just watched it later that night, but I didn't want to. So maybe that was my fault. But still, though, I think
That's also a
nighttime,
thing.
yeah, nighttime fight scenes are just kind of like you got to really freaking do it right.
Yeah, that's a shame. I like it. I like in old school movies. They had the movie darkness, granted, but they did night fights a lot better
Yeah. Um,
because you could just have one white light, double for the moon, shine it on the scene. Yeah, maybe it's sometimes obvious it's a studio light, but fuck it, you could see everything.
yeah, exactly. And it's not like all the fight scenes in this are like that. There's some,
Uh-huh.
obviously daytime ones that are pretty decent. Like they're not like amazing, but I don't know, they make up for some of the boring moments, even though there's not very many of them in the
Uh-huh.
fight scenes.
Yeah. There is another nitpick I have. They cut after a single gunshot.
God, dude, yeah.
I I didn't think that'd be a problem, but yeah, it bothered me. Whatever happened to holding a shot on an actor, firing full auto, just mag dumping on a target? Whatever happened to those days?
I don't know, but I miss it because yeah, it's the editing and stuff in these scenes aren't very like tight. They're kind of a little jumbly and quick and like a little too quick. Like
Yeah.
cutting
There's
after a gunshot or just like uh,
mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
like it's too afraid to show the dirt and the blood and gore. It's like you have a rated R film, use it. You have like
Totally.
battle axes, and granted they do make use of some of that battle
Yeah.
axe fight stuff, but
Yeah, actually, that's kind of a missed opportunity a little bit because they've been alive for centuries. They fight. They fought every war mankind has had to offer with the whole wide history of weaponry, and they just use guns a lot of the time. Two of the characters have melee weapons, but hardly ever do they get used. When they do get used, it's pretty cool though.
yeah, definitely.
So,
That's what
so why didn't they do more of it?
I don't know. I do appreciate them using like axe and sword for a couple of those characters, even though it
Yeah,
was like it was weird, but
yeah.
it was at
You
least a
know,
decent change of pace.
uh-huh. You know what though? There's brief flashbacks to the past
Yeah,
and the snippets of action there, but it looks so fucking cool. I
yeah,
would
it
I,
does.
I would almost take a period set action movie like that with the modern choreography and whatnot and
Dude,
just
exactly.
you know what? You know
I
what
was
this
kind of
is?
thinking the same thing.
Someone tried to make a less cool Highlander movie.
Is that what
That's it. This
it
is the Highlander movie where they're not fighting to be the only one. This is the one where they all team up and kick the shit out of people.
kick the shit out of Big Pharma?
Take
Or,
that, corporate.
yeah, I would have rather seen like a period piece or something, or like time traveling period piece with like a
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar budget. That would have been cool.
Well, it's just because those flashback scenes look pretty dank.
I know that's
I'm saying that it's dank because Charlize is in makeup, in like warrior makeup. She's flipping around and cutting heads. It's so cool. But we're back to guns and buildings and
we're back to just kind of modern day
yeah.
Snoresville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. uh oh boy, oh boy. Also, yeah, so this movie does drag. a few times, I feel. I think if I hadn't been so hooked at the time I was watching it,
Mhm.
I would have felt a little more disinterested.
Sure.
But I will say this movie pulls a Lord of the Rings at the end. It's got a
Oh,
million different endings.
oh yeah, dude. They had to do the whole later thing. I'm like, really?
Come on, man.
And only to like set up a sequel, which is just like, give me a break.
Yeah, I would
I
have been
mean, it's not the
fine.
first time that a movie's done that, but it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So yeah, they're driving away. The crowd's coming. The police cars are rolling in. It's a crime scene. Everyone back up now. In the movie. No, we got to reconcile the inner turmoil of the warrior group.
yeah,
Okay, that's done. Now can we get on with it? No, on to a new adventure with the current lineup of warriors. Ending, right? No! The exiled one, it goes on and on.
it's just so confident in its sequel bait. It just annoys me. I mean, granted, I wouldn't want it to be weak in it either, but it's just like, yeah, who
Yeah.
knows if anyone's gonna even like this? I mean, I don't know. It's just like
Hmm.
so strong sequel baiting. And it's like, oh, great, we're
For
gonna get
real.
another.
Keep it tight, people.
It definitely doesn't need to be a franchise or anything. It's just like,
Yeah,
what else
come
can you do?
on. Seriously.
Martin Shkreli comes back because he got a dose of the immortality gene, and
Bro, I don't. Oh man, I don't think he's coming back after that.
no, I gotta admit that was a pretty badass moment. I did
That
like
was
that.
cool.
Just
Yeah. I
thrashing him
also
out.
like. I also like the moment. Pardon me. Oh shit.
Okay,
Belgian white shock top. That's the way to go, my friends.
that is the way to go. You're right. Right.
Woo! So, anyways, I like the bit. So the four mains are captured at Big Pharma, and then you got Beale Street. She meets up with a character. She has to prove she's immortal, so she shoots herself in the foot. Just her reaction to that, it was pretty good. I
Pretty
feel.
humorous, yeah.
Yeah. Again, a fledgling bit of comedy in this dourly tonal picture.
Yeah, it's like, well, I didn't like all the humor in it. It's like it definitely does. It's better than just having a completely serious film, especially with a concept like this. Like, thank you for at least having
Yeah,
a bit of fun with it.
absolutely.
But yeah, I'd have rather seen a more of a period time travel piece rather than
Yeah,
modern day crap.
yeah. Not even time travel. Maybe just period set. You know
Sure.
what? No, just make it. If you're gonna go the franchise route, each movie is its own time period.
Each movie, how many? No, don't give them
No,
any ideas.
no. Think about it. So, I mean, example: Wonder Woman. First movie's in World War I, and then this next movie, hopefully coming out, is 1984. Make each movie be set in a new time period.
Yeah, like they have to go back or something. We got to go back to
Not,
stop Martin
yeah.
Shkreli from being born.
Not even time travel. Just we have. It's implied in the movie that they impacted world history. So let's just have each
Dude,
movie focus on that event that impacted history.
those fucking Photoshop pictures of Charlize Theron in like
Well,
World War II, that cracked me up. There
that
was
was
there's some really obvious, just like, all right, let's swap
yes.
her head in.
Yeah. Cool idea, but your Photoshop budget needs to go up a few bucks.
I like when you first realize that, like, oh, they're old, like Civil War, and you just see their faces just on Confederate soldiers. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Or were they Union soldiers?
Oh, they might have been. I don't know. Probably not Confederate. I don't think they would have done that.
The uniforms were darker.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, we do some world hopping too. We got Afghanistan, we got France, we get Sudan. Oh boy, London. It's a regular
It's a
globe trotting
globetrotter.
adventure.
Yeah.
It's a Harlem Globetrotter.
I mean, I don't know, man. I kind of like this was another one where I just didn't really have much to think about at the end, and it didn't really make
Uh-huh.
me think too much. Unfortunately,
Sure.
it's just kind of existed
Hmm.
while I was watching.
Yeah, you know what? This was I don't know if you have this problem, but when I'm flicking through films on something like Netflix or Prime or
Mhm.
Hulu, I'll just kind of hover over it, look at it for a few seconds, and if it just there's something about it, if it just pulls me in or not, I don't know. This film, like, okay, new movie, it's got some actors I like, it's an action film, but you just kind of look at it and are immediately not into it, sort of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, like I wouldn't
And
have watched this if you didn't recommend it.
probably not. I don't know why. I just kind of spontaneously suggested this, but
Yeah, I mean,
but hey,
it's all good.
it wasn't all terrible.
No, like yeah, it's got some fun moments, but damn, is it long?
It's long. It's
Man,
it's serious.
like there's just a little bit too much sitting around and conversing with another, which I know you need that doy, but just personally, I was just really not feeling it. It was one of those shit 40 minutes left. How am I ever gonna get through this type of
Like
situations?
uh-huh. It could have been kept a lot tighter. It didn't need to be this bloated. Otherwise, hey, I could think of worse ways to spend 2 hours.
I can't think of very many right now, but yes, no, yeah, yeah, definitely. It's not a total waste of time. It's got some aspects that are fine. And for someone who I don't even think has done an action film, you know,
Yeah, has
good
this
effort.
director done anything else?
Yeah, she's done like many films, like at least 15 or so. It looks like it,
Okay.
10 or so.
All right, these all look like dramas.
Right. So for a first time action film, I mean, it's a good effort.
Ugh, don't you just love it?
It's
First
weird,
time action director.
especially when their filmography is not even. It just doesn't make sense. Like, how do you go from that to that?
Oh man, that's the best. Yeah,
Um,
the
it confused
filmography doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make much sense to me how they get gigs like this. It's
It
like
is it is kind of true. Well, because they want to make sure the acting side of things is in the bag, and they could just leave the action to the second unit guys.
I suppose, yeah. But it's just like, why wouldn't you just give it to someone who's done this type of films? I don't know.
Yeah, I could think of plenty of action directors who can helm a successful action movie these days if treated right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a much more interesting film in here, but unfortunately, it's just kind of like it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, it's not the most immediate attention grabber, but if you do settle in, eh, above average.
All right, is
I, th-
that
I think that was my I think that was my sum up there. I jumped the gun a bit.
it's
You
all
got
right.
anything? Do you have anything left to say?
I guess not until I give my rating. I don't know.
Yeah. I got nothing left.
Let me check. Um, nope. I think that's it.
All
Sorry,
right.
I don't really have much else to say.
You're sorry. I'm sorry, man. Fucking let me be sorry. It's my pick.
That's all good. So
Okay, let's
what's your
let's
rating?
let's wrap this Christmas bow up.
Christmas
Present, Christmas present. Oh my god.
coming up.
Okay, so yeah, let's go to ratings. Let's go to ratings.
All right, you go.
So I'll give it another 3.5. Slightly above average, I'd say. Reliable actors, good action scenes, but there's a lot of nitpicks here and there. It tries a little bit to be too cool, and it could have broken up the seriousness more. Also, really bloated. If the story was kept more tight, it would have a lot more potential for. Finish the sentence, please.
I don't know.
I don't know. It would have more potential, I guess. I guess for appeal, more immediate appeal. Otherwise, though, not terribly done. Someone else probably might like it more than me.
Okay.
And
Um.
you?
Uh. I'm gonna go with 2.5.
Another one.
Yeah,
Another one.
like same with the last one. It had some interesting moments, and it kind of roped me in with the concept. I thought it was kind of cool, but I just wasn't really into the whole how serious it took it, and it just was a little bit too long for my taste. Um, I don't know, just didn't really interest me that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you like action cinema, there's some stuff to be had. It's not all bad. It just wasn't really too interesting to me.
Now I'm getting hung up on this whole Highlander comparison. Shit, man. If they okay, so I've been hearing for years Chad Stahelski, director of the John Wick trilogy, he was in the talks to direct a remake of Highlander.
I've never seen Highlander.
Highlander's not too bad. It's the same concept, immortals, but
Oh,
they fight more traditionally. They do sword fights and whatnot. But the whole point is they battle for supremacy. There could be only one. They battle to the last immortal. And it's really an awesome kind of this Terminator-esque plot where they're running around New York City and hunting each other down and so forth. They have all these rules and codes of conduct, and yeah, it wasn't perfect last time I looked at it, but it had potential to be remade because there are those movies that exist. Um, the ones that didn't stick the landing or just weren't good out of the gate, but could be remade and do well, I feel.
it doesn't. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it was a very well-regarded film from critics.
Absolutely.
So it definitely does seem like it could be remade. I could see this one being remade. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, but if this had this not been a graphic novel property,
Right, that's right.
you
It is.
oh yeah, this is a graphic novel source material we're dealing with. No wonder it wants to be a franchise. But anyways, had this not had someone not discovered this graphic novel property, which I'm sure is obscure. I've never heard of this before.
I haven't.
Uh had this not been this source material, you could have diverted all these resources to that Highlander remake. It wouldn't have been probably would have been Stahelski because he's running really good with John Wick. But damn, man, Immortals.
Yeah, it probably could have been a lot more interesting immortal film than this. So
Yeah,
what can
shit.
you
I'm
do?
gonna go watch Highlander again. Where the so there
Well,
you go. Highlander fans, maybe you'll be into it. I
it's
don't
got a
know.
really high Metascore, 70.
Highlander or Old Guard?
Old Guard.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
pretty high.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's look at some letterbox reviews here. What the fuck, man? There's stars and shit here. Pardon me. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like
What's the
Letterbox
average
is
on
more
Letterboxd?
honest.
What's
Letterbox has more honest reviews, I think.
yeah? What's the average on there?
I'm seeing a lot of twos from the reviews, but the ratings, there's a lot of 3 stars.
Yeah, 3.1 is the average.
I normally don't consult reviews like this, especially during an episode.
Wow,
But
Nick, you're really breaking the mold here.
I don't know. Maybe it's the shock top. I don't know, man. I should do this again. I should do this next time.
Bring me one.
Let's get fucking hammered next time.
I was thinking it'd be really fun to do a drunk review.
God damn, let's do one.
You and me can do one every month. Like do like once a month, like in the
Yes.
off week or something.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, jeez. We're just
Oh.
changing things on the fly. There's no rhyme or reason,
And the audience is here to bear witness.
right? Well,
You're welcome, audience.
you're welcome. We're trying to keep things interesting, all right?
We do it for you.
Well, I mean, that's anything else you've been watching lately, Nick? Anything you want to, anything else you want to recommend? Books, music, movies, anything?
Currently, I'll recommend a couple films right now. I rewatched the remake of Night of the Living Dead from 1990.
Oh,
It still holds up pretty good, I think. Pro- not doesn't have the social commentary, but there is still some great character drama. And God, the way they did zombies back then, back in the older movies, there's an atmosphere and a creepiness you just don't find anymore.
Okay.
And also, and also, okay, hold on. Let me actually go to my. I'm actually keeping a diary. I didn't think I would. If you asked me 3 years ago if I used the diary on Letterboxd, I would say no. But this is actually pretty helpful. Okay, I'll just rattle off some here. Premium Rush, the bicycle action thriller with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's still really fun after all these years.
Oh, good.
The Child's Play remake, another one, I think is even better than the original.
I
It's
agree.
a different concept, uses it to its full potential, and is fun. And lastly, my all-time favorite film of all time, The Great Escape. I just picked up the Criterion DVD from my local record video store. It's amazing. You can learn everything you need to know from filmmaking from this movie. It's an epic, epic adventure.
Yeah, I'll still need to see that someday.
Please do it right
Ow.
now. Right now.
Is it a long movie? It's pretty long, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's slightly longer than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Oh, frick.
of which got referenced inside that movie, which is awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's see. What have I seen recently? Not much. There's this film which the title I'm going to butcher. Koyan Koyan Scotzi, I think it's how you pronounce it.
Koyan Scotzi.
It's a very meditative and slow sort of documentary montage film, kind of showing the effects of industrialization and just the impact over time of just human life on Earth, starting from like the starts with like hieroglyphics of like ancient civilization, and it's showing you like sweeping landscape shots of like the canyons, and starts from just the rocks of this earth, and then slowly going into like just uh, modern day society, and showing the juxtaposition between all of it, and it's freaking fascinating. It's it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Not only because of the thematic material, but just like the cinematography and the imagery in it, dude. It's out of this world.
Wow.
If you're into like, and it's wordless. There's no dialogue. It's just Philip Glass. He did the music for it.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it's just it's slow. It's but it's quick at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it
It's
a documentary?
in a way. I mean, it is a documentary, but I don't know if you can call it that, because there's like
Koya
no inter
Anascati.
yeah,
Or
there's like
Koya Anascatsi.
there's like no dialogue or any interviews. It's just purely sound and visuals. It's more of an art film, really.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
super impressive. And if you they have the box set on Criterion. It's a 3-film thing, each dealing with their own themes. So I recommend getting the box set just on a whim. If you have
Wow,
some
man.
extra cash laying around, get it while it's 50% off.
Wow. Shit, I might do it.
Other than that, I think that's
What about Central Intelligence? Clearly the greatest film of the last 5-10 years.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that in Wyoming. My dad chose that, and he thought it was
Oh my
very
god.
funny.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, I was like, all right. But we did watch Mad Max Fury Road, and
Well, that's good.
but I didn't log that because I didn't feel like I'd watched it properly. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's me for sure. Either it's if I don't watch it properly, or oh, I don't know. This is how I log movies on Letterboxd. I'll do a separate review, and then I'll do a simple diary entry. That'll If it's worth watching twice, and maybe talking about,
Hmm.
then yeah, it's a great movie, or it's worth coming back to, discussing.
Yeah, I just kind of log anything unless because like with Fury Road, I just missed like I think the first like 15 minutes, so I was just like, and it was on like on a small TV with no good surround system, so I was like, that was not the
of
proper way to watch it. But it's still badass, it still holds up,
course, of course.
and it still just makes
Nice
me.
segue, Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah, but other than that, I mean, that's kind of it. So
Hmm.
very slow
Yeah,
month for movies.
pretty much. I was just updating my watch list with movies I got to see before the year lets out.
Hmm.
Got stuff like The Way Back, First Cow, The Gentleman,
Oh
Last
yeah,
Full Measure. Movies that I hopefully could fill out a top 10 by the end of the year.
I freaking tell me about it.
This has been horrible.
I know. I have 5 films. Well, now 6 for my 2020.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
let's see. I know three, two of them for sure are on the list,
hmm.
but damn, the standards have been lowered,
Oh,
lower than load.
I think next episode I'll probably recommend. I kind of want to see that Palm Springs film.
Oh, the Andy Samberg film.
Yeah, it's gotten some pretty decent reviews, and it's on Hulu, and
Yeah,
it's new.
there's one I wanted to see called The Last Full Measure. It's got all these different stars, a couple Marvel actors, but it's a dramatic film and it's based around Vietnam War. Looks
Last
neat.
Full Measure. Huh.
That or The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie gangster film. That's never a bad time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what I'll recommend, but possibly Palm Springs. So
Yeah, just wait and see, folks.
yeah. So I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, let's cut it off right here.
Yeah, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Reviews from the West. I think that's most of the handles on those sites. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube, and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Podbean and Stitcher. We're there. Follow and share with your film pals. So
Real extra deep sigh when you mentioned Apple podcasts.
I have no bias against Apple Podcasts. I just sighed. It wasn't a
Corporate
conscious decision.
machine's going down, man.
Corporations, big pharma, Kachow, Owen Wilson, Cars 2.
You know, I found out fucking
Huh.
Apple, they separated iTunes into 3 different apps or whatever, and I can't use iTunes anymore because of this.
What do you mean?
Well, they separated into different apps, so that's just Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and I think Apple TV. Those are all 3 separate things now. They're no longer part of iTunes. They disbanded iTunes into those 3 areas.
So wait, what can you not do now? What's the problem?
I can't go onto iTunes anymore. I have iTunes and I can't use it anymore because it just crashes because it's not a thing anymore.
Oh, well,
Like they
then
shut down the program.
but it would be in like your music app, right? Like Apple Music and stuff. And
Well, I don't have the Apple Music app on my computer yet.
oh,
Yeah, I just haven't updated with the times yet.
well, just update it.
This internet's too fucking fast for me sometimes.
All right, well,
Let's get out of here.
that's it, folks.
Enough of my
thanks.
ramblings. Glad you could join us. We'll be back next time with more films and we'll talk about those films. So please come see us again.
Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.